You better believe it. Baseball is back. We got game one of the Tokyo series. Let's talk some scene. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven. That's right, baby. We are here to talk MLB baseball. It has been like 5 months, and I am jacked up, ready to roll. This is my favorite sport. Does not mean it's the easiest sport to bet, but this is definitely my favorite sport. The real opening day will be next week with all the teams, but at least we have one game to talk about. So, quick info for this game. This game one starts at 6:10 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday morning, 3:10 a.m. for me, which means maybe I'll catch an inning or two when I wake up to go pee or something. I don't even know. But either way, just want to let you guys know the time is a little different here, but I'm excited. So if you're new here for MLB season, you are going to be given a ton of research help. I mean, a ton of stats, whether it's hitters, pitchers, whatever it is to help you make your own bets. But of course, we'll have our own best bets as well, because that's how we like to do it on this channel. Help you guys out, save you guys some time, and give you as much research and stats as we can. So let's get it rolling, though. And that means we're going to start out with an MLB fun fact. That's right. Here we go. This one's wild. Mark McGwire, you guys know him, got his first MLB hit off of Tommy John. Not the surgery, the pitcher. Tommy John's dentist was Mark McGwire's dad. You can only find useless information like that on Just About Outside. Anyways, in this video, we're going to talk all hitter matchups. So usually we're going to give you all the best hitter matchups and all the worst hitter matchups for every single day when we have huge slates. We only got one game. I'm just going to talk about any hitter that has history against these two pitchers. And then we're going to talk about info for the pitcher strikeout matchups. Usually I'll give you the best pitcher strikeout matchups for that slate. Today we're just going to talk about both pitchers and some numbers and things. And then we'll give you that pitcher report where we give you all the info for the pitchers. And then we'll preview the game and give you our best bet. So that's what we got. Of course, we'll finish it with the recap. If you haven't already, though, hit that like button. Leave a comment below to help this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, as we're now on our way to 40,000 subscribers. But let's get it rolling. And that means it's hitter time. All right, here it is. These are all the hitter matchups for game one of this Tokyo series. So again, we usually do good hitter, bad hitter, but we only got one game. So on the left side are all Dodger hitters. History versus Shota Imanaga. Mookie Betts, just a heads up, we'll talk about it later, but he is questionable with an illness. But 0 for 5 versus him. Freddie Freeman, 1 for 5. Shohei Ohtani is 0 for 5 with a strikeout. Tommy Edman, how about 2 for 3 with 2 bombs off Imanaga? Max Muncy, 1 for 3 with a home run. And then you go over to the Cubs side. The Cubs hitters versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Ian Happ, 1 for 4 versus him. Seiya Suzuki, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Not a good matchup. It's only been 4 at-bats, but not good for the Japanese on Japanese matchup there. Michael Busch, 0 for 4, 2 Ks versus Yamamoto. And Dansby Swanson, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. So again, you're going to get much better info with a lot more at-bats and sample size as we go on this season, but this is just one game, so that's what we got. So other than that, that's the hitter matchups. Now let's talk the pitcher strikeout matchups. All right, let's talk some strikeout numbers now. The first one, Shota Imanaga versus the Dodgers. So Shota pitched 11 total innings versus the Dodgers last season. He had 7 strikeouts. His K rate was much higher at home last year. We talked about that quite a bit. 28.9%, on the road 20.4. Obviously, it's more of a road game, but it's not technically a road game. He did have 13 Ks in 11 innings in spring training. Again, pitchers try out different things. Does that matter? Probably not. Just wanted to kind of let you know what happened. He had a higher K rate versus lefties last year as well, 28.4% compared to 24.2% versus righties. Now we go down to Yamamoto versus the Cubs. Yamamoto pitched 9 innings versus the Cubs last year, and he had an impressive 16 strikeouts. Not too shabby. He had almost exact same home road and lefty-righty K splits. It was pretty incredible. He had 14 Ks in 13 innings in spring training. Yamamoto is a guy who didn't throw a ton of innings, was dealing with a lot of injuries last season. But yeah, that's what we got for the pitcher strikeout information, just to kind of help you out. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, here it is. All the info for this pitching matchup. And again, you're going to get this for every single matchup this season. Imanaga versus Yamamoto. So these are obviously just going to be last year's stats. We got nothing else to work on. As you can see, Yamamoto only threw 90 innings last year. Imanaga 173.1 in his rookie season. Had a really good season. Yamamoto's more of a strikeout pitcher, obviously 28.5% compared to 25.1% for Imanaga. As you can see on the bottom in yellow, also we're going to show you this. That's what an average starting pitcher is. So 21.8% was the average last year for a K percentage. And then you got ERA, but what I like to use is expected ERA next to that. because obviously you can get unlucky, lucky, things like that, just like in all sports, whether it's potential assists, rebound chances. But expected ERA is a good number we like to go off of. So as you can see, Imanaga 3.31, not terrible at all compared to his ERA. And then Yamamoto 3 with a 3.5 expected ERA. So both, if you go by that, are due for a little negative regression, but this is their second season. So we'll see how it goes. And then hits per 9 innings and then walk percentage as well. So that's the pitcher report and all the research help we got for you. Now it is time for the best bets. All right, game one of the MLB season takes us out to Tokyo, Japan, where the Cubbies play the LA Dodgers. Dodgers money line minus 175 on the run line. Dodgers minus 1.5 plus 100. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 120 with a total of 8.5 runs in this one. So just a quick preview. Baseball, as you guys know, is already tough to predict. It's a very tough sport to bet on. You got to find the right markets and things like that. We're obviously going to take it easy at the beginning of the season. We don't have any data that's come in or anything like that. So you're going to see a half unit play here. I'll pick my spots and have a 1 unit play as well. But this is a fun game. Really cool story. 3 of the 4 starting pitchers in these 2 games are going to be pitchers that were in Japan at one point because they're from there, obviously. Then you got Seiya Suzuki, Shohei Ohtani. You guys know all about it. But should be exciting to watch. But injuries in this game. Cubs Nico Horner is going to be out in this one. Reliever Luke Little is out for whatever that's worth. Dodgers Mookie Betts, in case you don't know, he's sick and it sounds like he's not doing great. But maybe he tries to tough it out. We'll see. But he is questionable to play. Obviously, a big part of that top of the order for the Dodgers. And then bullpen arms, if you don't already know, Gratterall and Kopech are already out for this game as well. So you heard all the numbers for the matchup and everything. Let's give you a best bet. Half unit play. Give me the under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings at minus 125 on BetMGM. I don't love eating this much juice to kind of start here, but we'll talk about some leans in a little bit that aren't as juicy. But I think that we get a slow start offensively here. In game 1 last year in South Korea, for whatever it's worth in that series, it was 2-1 after 5 innings, ended 5-2. It's just not easy to come in and just hit 2 stud starting pitchers in game 1 of the MLB season. But let's talk Yamamoto first. He only gave up more than 3 earned runs in 3 of 18 starts last year. So he's going to give us a chance. First, the Cubs. Like I mentioned, he threw 9 innings against them. He gave up 0 earned runs. He had 16 strikeouts, like we talked about. And this projected Cubs lineup, 2 for 24 off Yamamoto. And now, when it comes to Shota Imanaga, he's also a guy that does well and doesn't get blown up very much. And he also limits hard contact as well as anybody out there. Not a huge strikeout pitcher, but it's hard to barrel him up. The only worry with him is, like we talked about last year, he's a fly ball pitcher. So sometimes that can lead to a home run here and there. But I do like him. So as you guys can tell by his ERA that you saw earlier, he's allowed 2 or less earned runs in 20 of 29 starts last season. So again, another pitcher who should give us a chance. Versus the Dodgers last year, he gave up 3 earned runs in a total of 11 innings with 0 walks and 7 strikeouts. This projected Dodgers lineup is 7 for 33 off him. And by the way, the projected Cubs lineup, the stats I gave, that actually included Nico Horner. It's one guy, obviously not playing, but not a big deal there. But when you have an under like this, you hope that these starting pitchers at least throw strikes and are not walking guys in. Like we showed earlier in the pitcher report, Imanaga, crazy good 4% walk rate last year. Yamamoto, 6% walk rate. At around 8% is the average. So we got 2 guys who have good command. Again, game 1. Maybe they don't have the command in game 1, but obviously we are hoping for that they come in sharp and ready to go. But also 2 top of the lineup guys out. Like I talked about, Mookie Betts may be out and Nico Horner is out. Obviously it helps a little bit. Doesn't mean it's going to hit under because of it, but I also like the full game under 8.5 here. I just didn't want to mess with all the bullpen arms. You don't know who's coming in, who's going to be rusty, who's going to be ready to go. I don't want to blow it on some 7th, 8th inning guy that comes in and walks 2, gives up a bomb or anything. So I'm going to stick to just focusing on the starting pitcher matchup. So give me the under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings as my first best bet of the season. But before we get out of here, let's talk some leans. All right, let's talk some more possible bets. Again, I have not made these as official bets, just some more ideas and things to talk through. Maybe it leads you to your own research or whatever it is. But the first one, Cubs money line, plus 142 on DK is where I saw this one at. It's a game that I think could go either way. You got 2 solid starting pitchers, and you're getting plus 142. If they lose, here's my thought process. If they lose, they're plus money again game 2. You're going to profit if they just hit one of these first 2 games. I like the addition, obviously, of Kyle Tucker in this lineup. Cubs, if you don't know, have a very good defense as well. Lots of young players are going to be really fired up for this game. Maybe no Mookie Betts in this one as well. No real data or analysis. I mean, all the stats we've given you are from last year and all the numbers. We've talked about this game already quite a bit. So plus 142 is just a big number for a team, projected to win the NL Central, and I think they do win the NL Central. So I don't mind that one just for some plus money. Second one, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, over 3.5 hits allowed. Now, as you can see by this outlier screenshot, he's over this line in 15 of 22 games last year. That includes the playoffs. And for what it's worth, he allowed 4 hits in 3 straight spring training games. Again, that's not the reason I made this bet, just letting you guys know. He's a guy who doesn't walk many players, as we talked about already throughout this whole video. And he threw 75 pitches in his last spring training start. If I could talk, which means I expect around 75 to 80 here. So he should be able to go, his outs line is right around that 14.5 line. They kind of expect him to go right around 5 innings. So I think that should be enough. The problem with this bet is I've only found minus 140 right now. That is a little too juicy for me to take over 3.5 hits allowed. But, maybe the odds move. Maybe you can just add a juice reducer. For me, it'd be probably like an under 12.5 in the game or something like that. But either way, just another idea. This line could move as well. We'll see which way it goes. But Yamamoto over 3.5 hits allowed, and the Cubs money line are just a couple other leans to go with my official best bet. As always, any added plays will be in the pinned comments below on X and on Discord. So before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. The one and only bet for the one and only game. Under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings, minus 125 on BetMGM, 4.5 unit. If you just fast forward to this part, you missed a ton of research help, and I also gave out a couple lanes just to kind of work through. But again, any added plays, you guys know where to find them. But I am ready to roll. I'm excited to talk some baseball. And as you guys know, as always, the Monday slate for the NBA, that video and best bets will be out after this one as well. But thank you guys for watching. Excited for this baseball journey to take with you guys, and hope you guys have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon.